Hey, what's up everyone, Ollie here. So I have the new MX Keys Mini here, and this one is specifically for the Mac. So they do actually two different versions. They do like a standard MX Keys Mini and then the MX Keys Mini for Mac. There are some very small little changes that we'll go through. The MX Keys has actually been a very popular keyboard. I've seen it in a lot of videos, a lot of people recommend it, a lot of people use it. The reason why I never picked one up was mainly because I actually prefer the smaller form factor of a keyboard like the Apple keyboard. I think the Apple keyboard for me is just a perfect form factor. I prefer that and I don't need the number pad. So it's why I never really picked one up. I never really bought one and tried it out. But now that they have the MX Keys Mini, I wanted to try it out, wanted to unbox it, see what it's like and compare it to the Apple keyboard. So let's get into it. I just realized I need a knife. I've got my little knife cutter somewhere. Okay, I'm back. I'm back with a knife now, finally. It's like a little paper cutter thing. So let's cut this thing open. Actually, why don't we look at the box before I cut it, right? So yeah, MX Keys Mini for Mac, the Master Series by Logitech. Minimalist, wireless, illuminated keyboard. This was like made for me, I swear. On the back, we have some features and options that they go through. Fluid typing, advanced keys, whatever that means. Mini size, again, this is one of the reasons why I like this keyboard, is for that mini size. Smart illumination, so the buttons light up, well, the keys light up as well. And if we go through the features, it says wireless connection via Bluetooth, low energy technology, easy switch keys to connect up to 3 devices and easily switch between them, USB-C rechargeable, a full charge lasts 10 days or 5 months with backlighting off. I feel like I would use it without the backlighting. I don't really need it. I mean, the Apple keyboard, the one I currently use, doesn't have any backlighting anyway. So yeah, the backlighting would just be a nice feature, but I hardly use it. I feel like it's just something I wouldn't use, and I would much rather have the 5 months of battery life. But yeah, we'll get into the box, we'll cut it open. Move that out of the way. So another thing is with the MX Keys Mini, for Mac that is, it only comes in this grey, silvery, white colour. You can get the standard MX Keys Mini in like a blacky grey colour, but the keys are a little bit different. And as I said, I'll share how the keys are different in a sec. So yeah, we have some nice unboxing packaging experience here. Just a little tutorial on how to turn it on. Easy switching demonstration. And then we have the keyboard itself. It's quite a heavy thing actually. It actually feels really well built. We'll put the keyboard aside, have some like card, documentation, whatever. Put that aside too. And in here, I can only assume this is the USB-C cable. Yep. So it's a grey USB-C to USB-C cable, which is good to see. I'm so glad USB-C is being used on this keyboard rather than micro USB. So first impressions. It is really well built. The bottom of it is plastic. I think this is also plastic. So it's not aluminium like the Apple keyboard. The Apple keyboard that we have here, this is aluminium on the outside. I think the Logi keyboard is, the MX Keys Mini is more plasticky. Right, so we've just looked it up. The MX Keys Mini is made from aluminium. Well, the sort of frame that you see is made from aluminium and the rest of it is made from plastic. So yeah, exactly the same as the Magic Keyboard. Plastic on the bottom and metal on the top. And yeah, if we look at the layout of the keyboard, it's funny because the color of it actually matches this desk mat. By the way, check out the desk mat, ulxstore.com. I'll leave a link to it down in the description. But yeah, I quite like the color combo because it's not completely white compared to the Apple keys, as you can see. It's more of like a grey color. So I think most people who are considering an MX Keys Mini are most likely people who already use a MacBook, use the Magic Keyboard or use this sort of keyboard and are looking for an alternative. And yeah, I feel like this is probably the closest one. It's the one that everyone seems to go for. And I can see why, you know, when it comes to the build quality, when it comes to functionality and everything, it's very similar to the Magic Keyboard. If we look at the key layout itself, you can see we have the FN, the Control, Option, Command, and we have the same on the MX Keys Mini as well. So the reason why this one is specifically for Mac is because it has these keys, and the FN, well, the function button, well, the function key and the control key are in the correct layout for Mac OS when you compare it to the Magic Keyboard. If you went for the standard one, it doesn't have well, it doesn't have the function controls in this order, it has them in the opposite order. So the control button is here and the function button is here. Arrow keys are a little bit different. You have smaller arrow keys. And then up top we have the familiar function keys that you get with macOS. But as you can see, they are a little bit different on the MX Keys Mini. So on the Mac, you'd usually have F1, F2 for changing the brightness of your display. On this, you do not have that. You just have the option to change between the 3 devices that you connect your MX Keys Mini to. We also don't have mission control. It's mission control, isn't it? Yeah. Mission control, yeah. Mission control, and we don't have the launchpad either. So depending on how you use those, how often you use those options, could be a deal breaker. I can completely get that. Me personally, I don't really use mission control and I don't use launchpad, so they're not going to be missed, I'll be honest. But I do use the brightness buttons a lot because I have an LG 5K display and a Pro Display XDR. The only way to change the brightness on those displays is by using the brightness button on the keyboard. So it'll be interesting to see how I can configure the MX Keys Mini to do that for those displays. We do have a keyboard brightness button here. We have, I don't know what this key is.
Dictation key.
Oh, okay, so this is the dictation key. F7 looks like the emoji key. F8 screenshot. F9 looks like a mic mute button. Which is interesting. F10 is play, pause your music, but as you can see on the Apple keyboard, that is different. F10 is actually a mute button, and the play, previous, next song buttons are F7, F8 and F9. You don't have previous or next on the MX Keys Mini. Again, could be a deal breaker for some people. You do have the volume buttons though, which is good. The mute, up and down volumes. And then it looks like you have a do not disturb or lock key. So I can only assume this is to lock your Mac or lock maybe your iPad if you've connected up to your iPad, something like that. If we look at the back of the keyboard, we do have a button to turn it on and off, and we also have a USB-C port to charge it. And on the bottom, yeah, just some rubber grips all around. And as you can see, it does raise the keyboard up a bit. This section here, it can raise the keyboard up. So if you like having an angled typing experience, yeah, it will work. If we actually do a sound test, so I can bring the microphone closer and we can do a quick sound test. If we compare it to the Apple keyboard, so we have the Apple keyboard here. Let's move that over. Okay, now that we've moved the mic back, so yeah, just a quick sound test. I think the Apple keyboard is still a little bit quieter, and I think it's because of the key travel. So the Logi MX Keys Mini has a key travel of, what did you say it was?
1.8 millimeters.
So 1.8 millimeters key travel. I don't actually know exactly how much the Apple keyboard is, but there's definitely more key travel on the MX Keys Mini, that's for sure. The Apple keyboard, yeah, I mean, they're still very, very similar. I think most people won't have an issue. If you've been using a Magic Keyboard and you need to switch over to the MX Keys Mini, you really shouldn't have too much of an issue when it comes to the key travel. I think that's actually one of my favorite things of the Apple Magic Keyboard. I know obviously mechanical keyboards and stuff are all great because of all the key travel, but I actually like very minimal key travel. I like to just have a nice sort of click when it comes to using keyboards, and I just feel like it makes me type faster, especially because my fingers can just glide over the keyboard. You can also see, compared to the Magic Keyboard, that there's indentation in each of the keys. There's a rounded indentation, so you get a better idea of how, well, I guess where your finger is actually on each key. Obviously you can't tell that with the Apple keyboard, but yeah, I mean, for me it's not really been too much of an issue, considering how small the keyboard is, and over time you sort of just have the muscle memory knowing where all the keys are. But yeah, I think for some people they might like that, they might prefer it. When it comes to pricing, the MX Keys Mini for Mac goes for $99, £99, which is actually exactly the same price as the Magic Keyboard, which is quite surprising, to be honest. I would have thought that the Magic Keyboard would have been more expensive. The Touch ID Magic Keyboard is more expensive, but of course that has Touch ID built into the top right of the keyboard. But considering the MX Keys Mini is supposed to be a competitor, I would have thought it would have been cheaper. But I can at the same time see why it's £99, $99. It is a good quality keyboard, and I think a lot of people will most likely consider it over the Magic Keyboard purely because you can connect up more devices. It's a different style, different look. It's an interesting look. I don't know how I feel about the look compared to the Magic Keyboard. I do like it, for sure, but I don't know if I like it as much as the Magic Keyboard look. I think the Magic Keyboard just looks a bit more minimalist, a bit more minimal looking. And it's also quite a bit thinner. So that's another thing to take into consideration. The Magic Keyboard is thinner than the Logi MX Keys Mini. So if you're someone who carries your keyboard around with you, yeah, this is lighter, for sure. And obviously it is thinner, so it most likely will be easier to carry if you do sort of take it in a backpack or whatever else. What's also interesting when it comes to the pricing is that the MX Keys Mini is exactly the same price as the standard MX Keys, even though the MX Keys is obviously a bigger keyboard and has more buttons. So again, I'm just surprised that it's not a cheaper keyboard compared to the Magic Keyboard. Okay, so I'm actually going to pair it up with my iPad Pro that I have here and see what the typing experience is like actually using it. So yeah, let's open up a document and see what we can do. I don't know if you can see it in the shot, but the LEDs are very, very subtle, probably because I have my light quite bright. But if I brighten it up, oh yeah, actually, you can see it there. You can sort of see the keys all lit up. Oh, it turns, oh wait, it's breathing again. Is it breathing? No. Don't know what's happening, but yeah, you can sort of see it if I cast some shade over the keyboard. Looks pretty nice actually, quite like it. This is a test of the MX Keys Mini. Oh, I've just called it their Max. MX Keys Mini. Yeah, I mean, I think the typing experience is actually really good. I mean, it's very similar to the Apple keyboard. I can definitely tell that there's more travel in the keys, that's for sure. But yeah, I think if you're looking for a Magic Keyboard alternative, this is a pretty good option. They are the same price. So pricing isn't, I guess, something to take into consideration. I think it's more down to personal preference, design, and whether you need it to connect up to 3 devices, because you can obviously easily switch between 3 devices if you need to. Obviously, the other thing that I said is that some of the keys are a little bit different compared to the Magic Keyboard. But yeah, for some people that could be a deal breaker, just something to keep in mind. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video of the MX Keys Mini. I'm going to use it over the next week or so, see what it's like as well. Thanks for watching. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter and subscribe for more.